checking out tree species with Australian roots here in Hong Kong, and talking with a horticulturalist in Melbourne to learn more. Come join us right now in this special episode of Hong Kong Trees. Hey everyone, welcome back. So, in our first episode of Exploring Hong Kong Trees, we outlined how trees of size are defined, and how us all as civilians can access information via various websites to learn about and track specific trees that have unique ID numbers. To learn more about that, do check out that episode. I'll leave a link below. But today, we're talking about trees that are exotic, specifically from Australia, that are actually very common in our urban landscape. The first species we are looking at is a eucalyptus that happens to be classified as being large due to its diameter at breast height. So between us here inside the Sham Shui Po Park and the busy road outside sits a Eucalyptus robusta, common name, swamp mahogany. Now, as the name suggests, it does grow well by the water, whether it's fresh or brackish in nature. In this sense, Hong Kong's rainfall and humidity certainly doesn't pose an issue. Back in Australia, this species also provides support for wildlife that we're unlikely to encounter here in the wild. It's also food for certain animals. Koalas love the leaves, and musk lorikeets love the nectar from the blossoms. This tree was last inspected in March 2020 and is considered an OVT or old and valuable tree. They're also very long-lived and can live for at least 200 years. But there's more to uncover about Australian trees in general. To learn more, we're going to talk to my buddy, Hugh. Hugh, to you. Hey, how you doing, sir? Can you hear me okay? Let's see. You're a bit quiet. Let me just see if it's my side.
Oh, come on, I'm never quiet, mate.
With over 20 years of experience working in horticulture, Hugh is also a carpenter, builder, and construction teacher and lecturer. He's also a volunteer emergency services officer and trainer. Though, of course, the devastating effects of bushfires are undeniable, many Australian tree species have evolved for thousands of years with them.
The indigenous people knew here, the Aboriginals knew in Australia, they used to, well, they're very nomadic, they would sort of move from one area to the next, and they would start a fire because they knew that sort of created or regenerated new growth. And people are sort of very adverse against sort of backburning, and that's been a bit of a contentious issue in Australia in the last few years. And the trouble is we need that backburning, we need that control, because then the eucalypts and the natives don't have that that natural cycle which they've grown to.
Backburning, also called controlled burning, are fires set deliberately to manage the spread and overall well-being of forests. A lot of the trees also have seed pods that won't release its seeds unless subjected to the heat. Another reason this is important for regenerating new forest growth. And many trees have adapted with epicormic buds, dormant buds that sit beneath the tree's surface that can spring to action when needed. Like for these melaleucas, common name paperbark tree. Of course, this does depend on the severity of the damage to the tree. But even when stressed in other ways, epicormic growth can be tightly packed, vigorous, and be the difference between surviving and dying. The melaleucas, the paperbarks, they tend to do really well in very wet, damp, humid areas.
Also, paperbarks also are very tolerant of high salinity.
Its leaves are prized for their essential oils, which have medicinal value. If you want to know what it smells like though, do check out our other episode where I learned to distill essential oils with my buddy Gaz. I'll leave links below. But for us though, most Australian species are deliberately planted in urban settings, like these lemon-scented gum trees, also in Sham Shui Po Park.
The Citrus is an absolute stunning tree, but there was historically because we've got these Victorian terrace homes with these sort of small courtyards, and they became problematic because people planted these big gums in these sort of small courtyards, and then there were complaints that the tree would get into the sewage or the water or upset the foundations of the building, but it's just the wrong tree for the location. So there has to be a little bit of forethought, understanding the type of tree, the nature of the tree, and where you're putting it.
In the mid-1990s, due to additional molecular level research, the designation for this tree genus changed from eucalyptus to corymbia. However, many around the world still refer to it as Eucalyptus citriodora. Desired for its citronella oil from the leaves, it's commercially grown in various parts of the world.
It's also manufactured overseas, I think from memory in Brazil, and in China as well.
And there's one more tree that's widely grown here, but actually from Australia. callistemons, commonly referred to simply as bottlebrush trees. As we prepare to enter the wetter, hotter months, the striking red flowers are falling and, on its branches, have formed hard, woody fruits. These trees are putting out new vegetative growth, preparing themselves to absorb the high amount of rain and sun that will be coming our way. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. Big thank you to Hugh for joining us and sharing your knowledge. Take care, everyone. And yeah, we're going to have to wrap it up because it looks like we're going to get some rain. Fortunately for these trees, unfortunately for my camera gear. Anyway, bye guys.